We're now learning that the Biden DOJ subpoenaed 2 years worth of House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan's personal phone records. Listen.
They gathered information that told them who I called, who called me, when we called each other, when the call took place, how long the call was, and where I was at when I made that call. I bet there's a bunch of other members of Congress, a bunch of other citizens like you all over this country that they were looking into, because this is the epitome of the weaponization of government against against the other party.
Let's bring in John Hugh, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General and UC Berkeley law professor. John, wonderful to see you here in person. So what the heck was Jack Smith up to? I mean, clearly he was going far beyond what a special counsel is supposed to do into looking into this thing.
This shows how far the Biden administration's lawfare campaign went and how early it started. Some of this started before Jack Smith was special counsel. It was before him. That's the Biden Justice Department at work. But the second thing is they're bumping up against the proper role of the executive when it comes to its relations with Congress. Yes, we should be using subpoenas and getting warrants to chase criminals, people who violated federal law. We shouldn't be using those tools to interfere with Congress, to interfere with the ability of members of Congress to have their views about the Constitution, to make their own statements about whether they thought the election was properly won or not. I might disagree with Mr. Jordan or not, but the executive branch shouldn't be snooping in on his conversations and interfering with his ability to conduct the business of Congress.
Here's what Jack Smith, his kind of, I think, a lame response to the charges that are being made now about his overreach. He made it in London last week. Do we have that clip rolling?
The idea that politics played a role in who worked on that case or who got chosen is ludicrous.
I mean, it's very clear. The goal was to cripple Donald Trump's chances for becoming president again. And however they needed to do it, whether it meant going after the phone records of Jim Jordan and 8 senators, they'd go for it.
Dave, this idea that none of this is political is laughable. The very act of prosecuting a former president for the first time in American history is inherently a political choice. And then to do it when he is the major candidate of the opposition party, you're compounding the political nature of it. And the third, as you said, David, to try to drive him out of the election to the point where only the intervention of the Supreme Court stopped Jack Smith from finishing what he thought was his job, which was to get Donald Trump out of office, never let him have office, get him out of the election.
I would go even further, to the point where the American public, even those who wouldn't normally vote for Donald Trump, did, because of the fact they realized that this was overreach and this was very un-American, what's been going on.
I really agree with that, David. The people who were the jury here were the American people. The courtroom was the ballot box. The American people should be trusted to make the judgment about whether Donald Trump should be president again or not. Not a single prosecutor who was on a campaign to get his man. That's not the way American justice should work.
Right.
We don't prosecute people because of who they are. We prosecute them for what they did.
And they made their vote on that a year ago, and Donald Trump is now president partly because of what Jack Smith was doing. I hope this lesson is learned for the next 100 years in American political history. John, great to see you.
Thanks,
Thank you
David.
so much for being here.